Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel where I love to discuss things that are relevant to here in Singapore. If you don't know, I'm a Singaporean born Brit, so I was Singaporean when I was born, now I have a British passport, but now living back in Singapore, the country that I consider to be home, and having been away for over 3 decades, I find that this channel is a great way for discovering more about my country, about the people here, about the stuff that I might have missed out on, and learning to understand Singapore and to be able to embrace Singapore. If you enjoy my content, either today or all this stuff that I've done before, or in the future, depending when you're watching this, please like, comment, subscribe. I really appreciate you getting in touch. I try to reply to all the comments, although some of my videos get quite a lot and some of you write a lot of stuff, so it takes me a while to process it and get back to you. Today I just wanted to discuss something that really bothered me today. It really ticked me off, actually. Made me quite angry. I had a phone call from my grandma, who is 93, and she was quite distressed. She was calling me because she had received a phone call from someone claiming to be the police about her bank. Saying that she needed to hand over her bank details, her address, and all this sort of stuff, and it had her in a real panic and quite upset. She said that the person on the other end of the phone was rude and pressurized her quite a lot. Fortunately, at 93, she still has a great presence of mind to be able to say, listen, if you need to know anything about my bank, you need to take it up with my grandson, which is me. And she actually passed on my details. Of course, they didn't call me. They didn't try to find out anything. But she called me distressed and upset, and it made me really cross. We hear so much about these scams that have been going on. In fact, we hear it in the news, we read it on Instagram, and we find out that Singapore is regularly being impacted by people who are being scammed. Just this last year, I know about a friend of mine firsthand who got scammed out a lot of money, believing they were putting into an investment fund, and also a friend's brother who was like one of those love scams, thought that he had found a girl of his dreams and was sending him money to help support her. It's really, really sad that people would do that. Now I wonder, is Singapore, with it being such a trusting community, such a trusting country, I mean, today, for example, we were in, yesterday, we were in Yishun, dubbed as the hood of Singapore, right? And we were at a hawker centre at night time. It must have been about 8 o'clock by then, and someone had put their AirPods, I've got some here, someone had put their AirPods on the table to chope the table. What this means, for those of you who might not be in Singapore, you don't know what choping is they've put their AirPods on the table to say, this is my table, I'm going to go and get my food, no one take the table, I'm going to come back and this is where I'm going to sit. Pair of AirPods. Now what's crazy is that someone could have picked those up and said, right, you might want to sit here, but these are going to be mine, thanks mate, and take them away. But people in Singapore trust each other, especially, I mean, we joked about it, but it's Yishun. Yishun is meant to be known as crime central of Singapore, yet someone would be happy to leave their AirPods on the table because there is trust. Now this element of trust is something that I think is what causes Singaporeans to be scammed regularly, because day to day we trust each other. We, like I said, we leave things to chope a table, and if we believe we believe those things are going to be safe if we leave them behind. My friend who's from South Africa, she talks about how an area in South Africa that she used to live in, they would genuinely be worried that their children would be snatched, taken away from them, kidnapped on a regular average day. Now here in Singapore, she left her purse, her bag, by accident on a chair at a coffee shop, and she'd left it there for about 2 hours before she'd realised she left it behind. She went legging it back, ran to go and look for it, and there was her handbag. This is actually just a camera case, but there was her handbag. Not just was her handbag still there, but everybody who was at that coffee shop had avoided her table because they thought that someone had reserved it. It'd been there for 2 hours. She was able to take it. But this level of trust, I think, is this thing that is causing people to take advantage of each other here in Singapore. Yes, I know that most of the scammers are from abroad. And I wonder if they've cottoned onto this about Singaporeans, that maybe they think we're gullible, over trusting and prepared to do that. Now, I am shocked and I'm really disappointed in humanity, if I'm honest. Feeling it firsthand from my grandma. I'm so glad, like I said, she didn't give over any details, she didn't give away any money. But she was really upset. A 93-year-old who's had a really tricky 12 months doesn't need this, doesn't need someone to be trying to scam her out of money. Now, I get that I could put my head into the place of the scammers. Maybe they're desperate for money too, and they've had a tricky year, and this is the only way they see fit. But I just can't justify that enough in my mind, in my heart, that someone who may have had a tricky week, month, year, decade could use other people, could interrogate innocent people, could make them so fearful, or could just trick them into giving them money. Let's discuss this. Tell me, why do you think this happened so much in Singapore? You know, in the UK, we rarely heard about scams. We would very rarely receive phone calls. I mean, I've received many phone calls over the last year, over the last 2.5 years, but specifically, if I was just to think of January till end of March, we're coming up to now, I think I've probably received easily a phone call a month, if not more, of people telling me they are from various different banks, they're from the Ministry of Manpower, they're from the Ministry of Health, telling me that I needed to get a COVID vaccine, I need to pay for it. All these crazy things that have been happening just in the last 3 months. Why? Why is it happening so much here? What are your experiences? Let's talk about this. I hope that this conversation will help more people to be aware and to not be scammed, to be safer, to know how to deal with it. Tell me your stories. Let's read through the comments and see what people have written. Let's share these stories with each other and keep each other safe. Thank you very much. Please subscribe, like, comment, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.